All right, welcome to another episode of a gaming podcast, episode 40. What a great episode.
Hell yeah.
By the way, Camille, I think your mic is a different mic again.
We're off to a good start, baby.
Oh, no. That's it?
Okay, yeah. So that it's your gate then, basically. Yeah. Perfect. Well, great way to start episode 40.
Am I low? Or?
No, yeah, you're good.
You're good. Yeah.
You're good.
Rob, you want to hear my voice louder?
I don't know if anyone does, Camille.
Okay, we're gonna server mute Camille.
Yeah, Camille's getting muted. She's just purely derailing everything, you know. Camille, how's it going?
Good. Recovering from Summer Game Fest and Xbox Showcase.
And I threw in Ubisoft in there, but you might be gone before that. So
I unfortunately didn't get to attend Ubi, but I'm excited to hear you guys talk about it. Yeah, my voice is recovered finally, thankfully. And yeah, you know, it was a great trip. It was great. It's good to just be in nice sunny LA. But you know what? We got some pretty good weather in Toronto, and we got some good weather coming up, which is nice. So it didn't feel like
it didn't miss much.
Really feel like we left.
Yeah,
you know,
not wrong.
So that's nice.
Hell yeah, Sammy. How about yourself?
I've been doing good. Still healing a little bit from a hip injury, but I've been spamming Animal Crossing. I'm about 4 years too late, but I got there in the end.
You need to drop Animal Crossing and get on Hello Kitty. That's all I need to tell you. Hello Kitty is the place.
Adventure.
That's the place to be.
Best of show.
100%. Yep. Steve Saylor, how about yourself?
I am also recovering. I just got back very late last night. Camille and I were both on the same flight.
Awesome.
And sorry, Camille. I think I kind of left you after the plane.
I thought we were doing that.
I got literally whisked away. Like they had someone like right at the right as soon as I got off. They're like, "We'll take you straight to customs," and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Nice. You're like, "Of course, I will do that. Of course."
Okay, back,
Steve.
Goodbye, Camille.
Anyway, no, it was good. I did lots to talk about, and I've just been putting up coverage of my stuff, the stuff that I played at Summer Game Fest. It was a good time.
Awesome. Steve V, Summer Steve.
Summer Steve Fest. No, I'm doing really good. I recovered. I actually slept 11 hours last night, which is unheard of for me.
I wish I did that.
Man, I was like up watching Star Trek last night. Didn't get 11 hours of sleep.
Yeah, I was dead to the world yesterday, but feeling good now. Got lots to talk about. I'm excited. Yeah, I had a great time in LA. The weather was great. The company was greater.
Awesome.
Did your cat just meow?
Yeah.
No.
They're excited for him. They're excited for his return. That's why.
People with good headphones are like, "Nice catch."
Good cat. Yeah. Riley, how about yourself?
I'm doing well. Yeah, it was a really exciting weekend. So I didn't get to go to LA, but I'm very well rested.
Honestly,
amazing.
Just rub it in.
I got a haircut.
No, the thing is jealous.
I did.
Super jealous.
Yeah. I got a limited edition bubbly. It's a coconut pineapple.
Oh.
Is it good?
That must be really nice for the first sip, where the rest of it is just.
Oh my gosh, Kabis again with his bubbly woes. He doesn't get it.
It's good. It tastes like vacation.
Must be great to have like a hint of coconut pineapple in your sparkling water.
It's pretty.
You know what? Can I just say this? I hate coconut water. I really do. Like,
Me too. Me too.
It's
okay.
It's creamy.
Right.
I don't want my water to be creamy.
I know, right? You especially like no to
But
coconut
the
water.
benefits, it helps your skin, it helps your everything.
No,
it's a natural energy drink, not energy.
I'd rather just eat a straight up coconut, to be honest.
Yeah. Or have it in some sort of like.
Who's walking on the sidewalk with a coconut in their hand, like just scooping it up?
Me.
When you're on vacation,
the real heroes.
This guy.
But yeah, no, it was great to watch, and I'm enjoying the coconut pineapple bubbly.
All right, there we go. Camille, how's it going?
Well,
did you get some more room in your plane ride on like the Ubisoft Forward?
Oh.
Like room? Oh yeah. I got more room. But Riley, you should be doing amazing because we won a bet.
We did. We won a bet.
You did.
Half.
True.
Well, no, Riley was only in on that one.
But they didn't announce a release date.
Yeah, I was the one who had the second bet for also releasing at the end
perfect
of
dart.
the year.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that was the original bet.
I
That
said
was the
I said
original
there was
bet.
no way it was coming out by the end of the
Yeah. And then
Okay.
Riley's like,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we'll do the 2 bets. So it was
Okay,
2
so
bets.
we'll get you
No,
guys a
So
shot.
one.
We'll
The
get you guys a
original
shot.
bet was that it wasn't going to show up at Perfect Dark wasn't going to show up in the Xbox showcase. We lost that bet.
It did.
The
Yes.
second half of the bet is the releasing in 2024 that you lost.
That's
so
a
there we go.
separate. That's a separate bet.
I'd say
I-
that's a bigger
I
win.
whole won
Hey,
my
the
bet.
year's not over.
So
Take
you
a
mean
shot and drop it.
all way to
Come on,
do?
come here.
So what you mean is only Riley gets the drink because yours cancels
Yeah,
out.
I got the. Yeah, you're like.
How does mine
I didn't
cancel
know.
out?
Riley.
It's a
Hey, there we go. I'll
separate
buy you a
bet.
drink, Riley.
Yeah,
There
Riley,
we
you
go.
got a drink, Riley. Yeah,
Guys, thank you.
yeah, but you lost your bet.
Yeah, I don't know. Get
The
good.
first chance
Get
you got
good.
to betray
We'll
you.
get you a drink,
He's
Riley.
like,
I was
Yeah,
talking
fair.
Just take
about
the bet. Hey, it is what it is.
Riley, I can't believe you. We were talking
You know
about
what,
how,
though?
like, our friendship has now, like, you know, we've come to friends, and I was like, ooh, okay, well, maybe, like, for a week. But you were, like, for a day?
At the end of the day, we all won. After
Mhm.
that
Yeah, there we
showcase,
go.
after
Yeah.
that weekend,
Absolutely,
we
absolutely.
all ended up winning. And
Okay,
yes,
losers,
we owe you.
losers,
We owe.
losers.
Okay. All right.
Losers.
Jesus.
Way to be
All
a sore
right.
winner,
Wow.
Camille.
Jeez,
Way to be a sore winner,
sore
dude.
So,
winner.
yeah,
Jeez.
I've been sleeping well because I know I'm winning.
Would like to
I'm
Just
glad that guy.
saying.
I'm glad that guy just had his elbow in your face throughout the whole Ubisoft show. Now,
Yeah, just
damn.
just like I've been live here from the showcase. Blah blah blah. Hey, look at this.
Yeah.
Hey, you see this over here? You know.
So a little
What's
bit
up,
backstory.
guys?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Ubisoft Forward.
Did he
little
like not understand?
backstory.
Was he like?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, go
So
ahead,
what
go ahead.
happened was we were at the Ubisoft Forward, and the person to my right was streaming the whole thing live
no.
with like their other 2 friends.
That's
so
good
like
because there's no other way to watch that press conference.
no other way. But he had,
Audio is immaculate.
Yeah.
he had his you know, his tripod, like his mobile tripod, and he's like just pushing his hand and like elbow in my face.
of course.
And then they're looking, and it's like in Spanish as well, so I don't understand. And then I was like, "Oh, are you gonna do that the whole show?" And then he's like, "Yeah, I'm allowed to co-stream." And I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, from
okay,
home.
cool, dude." Well, I don't know the
It's from
specifics,
home
but I
because
was
they had
like,
signs. They had signs
It was,
everywhere
I think,
saying you
supposed to be from
could.
home.
Yeah, that's what
yeah,
it was.
I know, but I don't know. Maybe they made an exception. I don't know his outlet, so
Because they had signs
I was
everywhere
just
saying no
kind of
photos, no
I was
video.
Like, okay, cool. I don't know his situation, so like, he
Yeah,
thought he
yeah,
could
you
do
didn't
it,
wanna
maybe he
judge.
could,
Yeah, yeah.
right. But his elbow he kept holding it out to like see his reaction because he has his friends on his phone, like how you would do a selfie, and then he like flips the camera to see like everything else, and he's like shoving his hand in my face, and as he's trying to show the environment, and I was just like, that's cool, so I just kept dipping to the left. And then, like, some of the people on the broadcast were like, wait, we know that girl. And I was like, oh, no, there's a lot happening. There's a lot. So there was a lot. A lot
If
happening.
that, if that was me, the rest of the live stream would have been from the floor looking up to the ceiling. I would have knocked that phone out of his hand.
You would have seen a live view of the phone going towards the stage, being like,
yeah.
"Nope."
Just seriously.
The POV of a frisbee, yeah. Just
You got more willpower than most of us. Camille.
Seriously,
I
the
commend you.
amount of
I
patience you
commend
had,
you.
Camille. I kept looking over and like it would just be the most passive aggressive like look towards me. I'm like,
I mean, if
Good
you
play,
did do
good
that,
play.
it would have been his most viral clip of his whole
Yeah.
of the stream. So.
No, no.
oh my
I
god,
mean,
the
I-
Rainbow
of the
Six
week.
Siege woman just threw my phone.
Oh, that's the YouTube video right there.
Right there.
no.
There you go.
Seriously.
There you go.
Yeah, but other than that, you know, just recovering from Summer Game Fest, basking in my wins of a drink that I'm going to get later on for winning that bet, and watching a lot of Star Trek, so the huge.
I think your drink is canceled out, but anyway, so we'll talk. Let's talk
We're gonna work that
about.
out.
Yeah, we'll figure this out. Let's talk about Summer Game Fest because that was the first one we saw on the docket.
Yeah.
It all started off with the acknowledgement of layoffs. What did everyone think
Oh
about
my
that?
God.
That was great.
It was good, but it was like very forced. I was just like, yeah,
It
this is
felt
because
like
you got yelled
he was
at.
backed into a corner to
Yeah.
do it. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
yeah. But I will say what I did like is more than just the fact that he called it out. He followed it up by showing like the Steam charts, pointing
Yes.
out like, hey, there's 2 games here that you might consider to be like bigger games, but the rest are like made by indie developers, some single developers. I really, really like that he did that, because honestly, it put on blast and to the forefront that people do play a variety of games. And to all these investors and all these shareholders and all these big CEOs, you don't need gigantic ballooned budgets to find success in our industry. Sometimes it's one guy making a game. Sometimes it's a game that came out 3 years ago that one streamer randomly started to pick up, and next thing you know, everyone's talking about Among Us. Now we got an animated series coming out. So like
and they're displaying developers too.
Exactly. So I really, really appreciate that Jeff ended up calling that specifically out, because hopefully that sends a message across our industry about the fact that, like, yeah, okay, we want AAA games, we want big games. Of course, everybody is excited for things like Star Wars Outlaws, Assassin's Creed, Spider-Man, Wolverine, blah, blah, blah. But those smaller games are really important too, and they can find insane success. They have to be a part of this industry forever.
Absolutely.
Well, there's so much examples of that, right? And I know we're going to go through the whole showcase, but it just, when you see the developers behind Among Us, and you see, Inner Sloth, and you see like,
and their whole new initiative too now is great.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
I love that.
Yeah. So you see like these staples, and it just was really nice that I think Jeff was able to identify like the hurdles that I think some people were having, and make it in a way that was also very positive, because I could imagine he's also backed into a corner, because in order to put on a show like this and to put on play days probably takes a lot of money. And takes a lot of sponsors, and they have their own guidelines, but it was great that he was able to address it in a way that was also very positive, and like wasn't a downer, which is also like it's always hard to talk about layoffs because it is really sad, but having that hopeful message, I think sometimes is missed.
Awesome. That was followed up by Lego Horizon, which I would say the big surprise with that was they're like, PS5, PC, and Nintendo Switch. No Xbox.
I mean, Switch makes sense though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely makes sense.
Lego games do very well on
super
Switch.
well. The only thing so they had me in the first half where it was like, okay, we're in the Horizon world. You see Aloy, you see every kind of like point of reference in the Horizon world, and then they started talking about like the campsite or the hub kind of thing where you can customize and start building, and then it just goes into like Lego nonsense where Aloy is dressing up as weird things. I was like, ooh.
Wait, why did they lose you for that? I love that part. I think that is the charm about Lego games. It's like you're able to like put on weird outfits, and the really cool thing is, Steve, I got to like tag along with Mr. Sailor's PlayStation appointment for Playdays, and where we got to
and we're allowed to talk about it.
Yeah, go ahead, dive right in. Absolutely.
Yeah, we are now. Yeah, allowed to talk about it. But like where you're seeing that action, and Steve will talk more in depth about how the gameplay was. But I think like seeing the trailer, I was like a little bit like, hold on, is this a Horizon game? Is this a Lego game? Like, how is this? But then seeing it being played, I was more like, oh, I understand what they're doing here. And I think Steve will get to that a little later. Because there are elements, like you were saying, the wardrobe and the customize, where you could throw like villagers or people that are around into wardrobes. And then they could dress as like, the hot dog character that we saw in the trailer. Which is why I think the trailer, although it was good, could have probably been positioned better, because talking to other people at Play Days, they didn't quite understand the concept,
right?
As
that's
well.
where I'm coming at it. Where
the game definitely has. It's a bit difficult for the game to have like an identity, because in its presentation too, like it starts off the trailer with this random hot dog guy, right? It almost starts off as like, hey, there's a Lego game coming out. And then they're like, oh yeah, also it's Horizon,
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of hard for it to find a balance, but I do agree with you, Camille. I got the chance to get my hands on with it as well at Summer Game Fest. And yeah, like once you get your hands on the sticks, you kind of understand what they're trying to do here. In a way, in a sense, they're creating like an entry level opportunity for like a younger audience to be introduced to this franchise, to the world of Horizon, which then could spring off into them wanting to get a PS5 if they got the game on Switch, or just to jump into like the actual AAA Horizon games that are out there. And it's fun, it's quirky, it's got all the Lego isms in there. It's just a good Lego game, and it's really pretty to look at for a Lego game, I will say. And what I'm most excited for, I love me just a nice solid couch co-op type game. This is going to have that. You're going to have the opportunity to sit there and play with a friend on the couch. There's no split screen. It's really just both the characters on the same screen at once. And it's just really fun. Like I had a blast with it. And at first I was like, I don't really know if we need a game like this when it was announced at Summer Game Fest. Once I got my hands on it, I was like, no, I think I'm in.
Yeah, I think this is definitely, I think as we were talking over the weekend, I think this could definitely be a whole brand new avenue for PlayStation to jump into the family market, because the majority of their first party games are very mature and for adults, but they don't have a lot for kids. So that's why we're seeing games like Astrobot and which we'll talk about in a bit, but and Lego Horizons. I could definitely see like a Lego God of War and see that kind of
Lego Last of Us. Can you imagine Joel's death in Lego?
Oh no.
It's like got like a little golf club.
No. See, Joel just goes away. He just, he goes on vacation.
He breaks into multiple bricks.
Wow. Anyway, but no, like if I couldn't obviously be able to play the whole thing, but they did the way they sort of had it. It seemed as if it was like a 1-to-1 story of Horizon Zero Dawn, but done in with the, as we said, like the Legoisms and the humor. What I did was I was able to confirm it is the same voice cast. Yep. They are doing their same roles. So it is Ashley Birch.
Except for Lance.
So I did ask about that. So they didn't. So they couldn't confirm who they got, but they did say that they did recast Lance. So we did have that, and I don't know. They may just go on the the Destiny route and just got Keith David. I don't know. I did ask that, but they were like, they didn't tell me anything about that.
Just get Keith David. I mean, if you get Keith David,
right? They already got him once for Destiny, so let's do that again. But like even the tutorial plays pretty much like beat for beat as the tutorial in Zero Dawn. And it's really cool. Like it's the same kind of gameplay. You're basically you're going up against dinosaurs, robot dinosaurs, but they're all in Lego, and you're finding the weak spots, and they kind of explode out into Lego pieces around, and then you're finding these studs, like these little gold studs, that's your currency, and you can build. And so the actual customization is in your village hub, where you get to build out and customize your buildings in your village. And then if you buy certain Lego skins, you can literally pick up a villager, throw them into a wardrobe, and they pop up, and then you basically buy. And then you buy like a Lego, like a minifig. Basically, they come out with that. I did ask if there was like any Lego IPs that they were. It was just Lego IP that was in there, or there was anything else. Like, are we going to be able to see Batman in Lego Horizon?
Or Kratos would be sweet.
So that was the other thing, was that they didn't say, they said no about those IPs, but they didn't say no about potential other PlayStation IPs. So that
could be interesting.
Yeah,
they said that, and also Lego IPs as well. They said there's a lot of Lego IPs within the Lego universe and stuff like that. So like that'd be, but like exactly what I was talking to Steve about. I was like, I think this is just a whole separate like split universe of exploration that they're gonna explore. Which imagine like Kratos as Lego saying boy.
Yeah,
like all they could insert so much humor just between the dynamic of Atreus and like Kratos. It'd be so cool. So I'm hoping that this is the first step. Everything that I saw looked really good, like really good, just beautiful. So I'm hoping we get more of like that. Even like Ratchet and Clank, like that would be so perfect. Like imagine Nathan Drake like has the spot on humor for Lego, right? Like
there's so many options, right?
Spider-Man.
Honestly, that's why it is weird that they come out of the gate with something like Horizon. But I feel like again, this could be like the beginnings of something, a very different shift for PlayStation. I can't remember who mentioned it, but like totally an opportunity for a younger audience to start playing some PlayStation games, which they seemingly, with a lot of their exclusives especially, haven't done too much of. Like even the Spider-Man games, like for sure there's a lot of kids that play them, I imagine, but they have some mature themes in there, you know, like there's some heavy stuff that happens in those games. So these Lego games, it's very good for a much younger audience. And I mean, it's interesting that they're coming day and date to put it on Switch, to put it on PC as well. No Xbox.
One thing that they did
play
say,
no fun with that. Yeah,
they didn't mention anything specifically Xbox, but because one thing I noticed was that this was kind of like their first foray into the Nintendo Switch, or basically multi-platform. They did say that, oh no, we had MLB The Show, which they kind of see as sort of a little different because it's multi-platform just in general, because it is also on Xbox. But this is PlayStation's first true attempt to jump on the Nintendo Switch. They did say that it does play better on the PS5, obviously, but it is able to play pretty much as is, on feature parity on the Nintendo Switch. So I was trying to hopefully maybe allude to like maybe a scoop on Nintendo Switch 2, but they were pretty well trained on that one. But I think it was. I honestly, I was pleasantly surprised by it. I think like even just the humor of it is so funny, like because when Aloy gets her focus and she says like, oh my, is this the only one? And then Ross is like, no, we got a whole bag of them, and just drops a whole bunch of them on the ground. Like they really play with the fun of and just some of the weird little like quirks of Horizon, and they just sort of make fun of it and make fun of themselves essentially. So definitely, I am looking forward to that one, and I will play that myself.
Yeah. Hopefully they can even like introduce like Sly Cooper, Jack and Dexter, give people like a little like taste and be like, oh, and then people be like, well, who are these characters? And then they'd be like, oh, maybe people are interested in these characters. Let's make a spin-off game, either Lego or just their own spin-off games, you know? So
I mean, hey, if Nintendo's involved in this and it's on their platform, maybe we get Link. I don't know. Like that would be kind of cool.
Nah, you can stop right there.
You never know. You never know. They were
give them Metroid.
Exactly. They have the set. They already have a relationship there. But kind of to your point, Aaron, I think it is smart to start off with Horizon because there's less risk compared to the other big IPs. Like if you were to announce a Last of Us, which I think would be too gruesome, I don't think we'll see that, people would be up in arms. A God of War, people would be up in arms, like just give us a next God of War, right? With Horizon, it's kind of like where you do have this blend of different audiences that would be more open to maybe taking in some Lego Aloy.
Yeah. Not only that, but Herman definitely just treats Horizon like it's his child.
He does,
not only that, but like even the the financial report that they did like a couple weeks ago, Horizon was the only not the only IP, but the major IP that they kept pushing in all of their slides. It's like Horizon, Ghostbusters, and Spider-Man. Like they treat this thing like it is the PlayStation IP above Last of Us, above God of War, and to the point, I don't even think that the general consumer treats it that way. So I do think that, to everyone's point, that bringing it out as a Lego property is that way to just say, hey, this IP means a lot to us, and this is how we're going to share that with the mass player base. Because unfortunately, I'm a huge Horizon person. I think probably amongst a few amount of people who actually really, really love it. So I think that hopefully bringing it out as Lego will kind of bring more people on board.
Yeah.
I did see an interesting fact that this is the first Sony property, other than MLB The Show, which they don't really own that IP, but that has been on a Nintendo console since Wipeout 64.
Yeah.
So it's it's a pretty big deal that they're doing this.
Yeah. Are we in a renaissance of are we in a renaissance of sharing games?
Yeah.
Remember those days?
Golden era is coming back, especially with Xbox. Just saying.
Let's see.
Up next after that was from a Toronto studio, No More Room Hell 2 or something like that. Or anyone remember the title for this one? I was writing as fast. I was writing as fast as I can, but it was like next one. But No More Room in Hell. Is it like a sequel? Yeah, there's two.
Yeah, it's two.
Two. Toronto-based studio. That was the one we heard like a little whisper about before the show. Look really neat. I don't know if anyone has any opinions on that one. Just want to give some love to a Canadian-based studio.
Shout outs Toronto.
There you go. After that was. Oh, so sorry. Actually, okay, not just yet. I'm excited for this game after this one. There's Harry Potter game as well. Quidditch. Yes, there's that one that came out. There's like a little CGI. Next one is Cuff Bus. I don't know if any of you guys. That one made by one person looked really, really cool. Looks like a crazy time. Right after that, they gave like a little love to Star Wars Outlaws that we will talk about a little bit later. Nava, the same creators behind Grease. Civ 7 coming to PC and consoles as well.
Was a good one.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people were expecting Borderlands from 2K there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if you guys recently saw too that Randy Pitchford was he was talking about it, and he was like, he did like a poll recently that was alluding to Borderlands 4.
Yeah,
where he was like asking like, would you guys basically be interested in Borderlands 4 going full on like MMO live service? And I think the response is like basically hell no.
So go back to your office, Randy.
Yeah.
Go back to your office.
So but I mean, Borderlands 4 is happening, but yeah, Civ 7. There wasn't a whole lot of announcements for Summer Game Fest that got a pop in the room. That was one of them that like I heard some people get excited. There was some chatter.
We're definitely coming to one that got a big reaction, and then that one deflated very, very quickly. But that's coming soon. I think you know which one it is. Caboose, Wukong coming to PS5. Asgard Wrath.
Oh my god, that game looks so good. Oh my god.
Once Human as well. Did any of you guys try it at Summer Game Fest by chance? Or
I did not. No.
Yeah. Space Marine Warhammer. Metaphor.
I can't wait.
That one looks good as well.
Can't wait.
Metaphor, the Persona game.
Oh
Camille,
my
you
gosh,
tried
yes.
it?
Refantasia.
Yeah, I got to play
Refantasia.
Yeah, it like has the whole aesthetic of Persona that you would expect in this fantasy setting, which reminds me, if you're an anime buff, like Sword Art Online, like it's very Sword Art Online-esque. And then you have like a new battle, well, not a new battle system, but it's just a little bit different as well. But my only hurdle with Metaphor is like, being a Persona 5 fan specifically and having the music really go with the style of the game, you don't necessarily have that for Metaphor because it's very fantasy based. So that was just the only thing where I was like, huh. But I also spent a lot of time on it, like a lot of time. Yeah.
Awesome. And then my phone, being from Toronto, it put down Batman Arkham Shadows, but Arkham Shadows. The VR game, that one, everyone's like, "Oh my god, new Batman!" And they're like, "Coming to the Quest." Oh, that definitely that room definitely deflated.
Yeah. So like,
but there was a lot of people.
There's a lot of people that
didn't
had no
hear
idea
the announcement.
Yeah.
So for them, like,
I was gonna say, like,
and he literally teed it up. He was like, "Get ready to jump back in the Batman Arkham franchise."
Yeah.
In MetaQuest 3.
Yes, he's like,
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he knew.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's unfortunate because I am looking forward to the game. I've spoken to the devs. I had the chance to interview Ryan Payton, who's the studio head at Camouflage, and I mean, for him, what I've really loved hearing and seeing is that he hears this feedback. He hears people, kind of oohing and awing at the fact that there isn't a AAA Arkham game coming, but rather a VR game.
Yeah.
And for him, it drives him. It really drives him, and he's like, you know what? I'm just going to prove you wrong. Then, it really inspires him to want to make the coolest like Batman Arkham type VR game that we could get. And so I'm looking forward to trying it out. I think the only thing that I understand, especially for people that are fans of VR, is that it's entirely exclusive to the MetaQuest 3. From what I've heard, a lot of feedback that's been provided is that's just hard. Not a lot of people are willing to fork over the money, or some people already have like a MetaQuest 2 or PlayStation VR, whatever it might be, right? So to have to get this whole new system just for this one game is a hard sell. But we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Again, I'm just, for me, as a fan of Batman Arkham who loves the lore, I can see the passion in the eyes of the developers. I can see how much they love this world as well, and they want to have their own footprint, a part of this franchise, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they bring to the table.
I'm really hopeful for this as well. I love the Arkham IP, but knowing that Camouflage did Iron Man VR, which in my opinion they knocked it out of the park in terms of feeling like you are Iron Man.
And that's a sentiment I've heard across the board.
It's like, Aaron, like the first time you try a VR game, try Iron Man VR, because it is nuts. Just the way that, like, how much thought and detail went into like the propulsion system, the way that you're like shooting with one hand, hovering with the other. Like they put so much detail into that. So if they can approach Batman in the similar vein of like how Batman would move or fight or, you know,
beat the crap out of someone
or just have like a menacing like pose or something like that. I think it will be such a cool VR game. But no, I totally understand the people's sentiments of, hey, we've been waiting for a Batman Arkham game. We gotta wait longer. It's like that frustrates me because it's not like Warner Brothers is doing it. It's not like Rocksteady's making this game. So just let another studio handle this IP.
It's also just like
I don't know.
If it was WB Montreal, if it was Rocksteady, if it was Monolith, if it was literally any of the WB Games owned studios that make AAA titles, and they went up to WB Games tomorrow and said, hey, can we make another Batman Arkham game? WB Games would be like, we're going to give you $600 trillion. Please make it and have it out by next year. Like I don't know why anyone thinks that WB Games also like doesn't want a new AAA Arkham game. If they had the opportunity to beat that dead horse, bring it back to life and continue beating it, they would absolutely do so. But it's a monumental effort.
Poor horse.
You know, that poor horse. It's a monumental effort. I mean, look, Arkham Origins is proof of that, right? Like Arkham Origins was made in a year. And its entire purpose, its existence, was strictly for them to see if they can become an Assassin's Creed type studio to have an Arkham game come out every year, because they wanted to have something to come out between Arkham City and Arkham Knight to help bridge the gap so that people weren't waiting so long. Like, they want to make a ton of Arkham games. They know how much money it makes. They're not holding back on that by any means. It's just that Camouflage came to them with a really cool idea. And it so happens to be that those guys make VR games. That's just the way that it goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I heard in an interview that he did with Kind of Funny. And he had said that they very much were trying to focus on, let's try to be able to get that like similar to like the style of Arkham Asylum. Like that was that was their main sort of stay. Like they didn't want to, you know, focus on anything else of Arkham. It's just that was the first game. Let's do that. And because he said that one of the things he learned about Iron Man VR, because I think that the meta version is different than the PlayStation version. It's actually longer than the PlayStation version because he thought you had to add a lot more to the game in order to be able to make it compelling. But he's like, nope, we want to keep it as a good experience as best as possible. And if it turns out that the experience is 8 to 10 hours, great. Then, or if it's 6 to 8 hours, then even better. Whatever works serves best for the game. And I'd be very interested to see what that free flow combat that was talked about. See what that's going to be like. Mm-hmm. I definitely don't want to necessarily have to kick in my office here and kick over something my PC over. So I think that'll be an interesting way to do it because with the original Arkham VR game, it was just, teleportation, which I liked. It was good, but, it was a very on-rail sort of experience.
Yes.
But with this one, I would be very curious to see how they're able to accomplish that.
Yeah.
That's wild how especially Batman was kind of like the first of introduction to like the whole VR experience, and now like it'll be neat to see what they're gonna do with this next one. So it's kind of cool that it's coming out again. Kubus, do you want anything you want to say before you have to head out? I know you're right now.
I gotta head out, so I'll just speed run a couple of things that I really love from this past weekend. I also got the chance to play Astrobot. That is definitely my best in show. I had an absolute blast with that. The Astro's Playroom felt very much like it's the tech demo. Here's the cool things that the PlayStation 5 can do. This one is more like a full-fledged game. And I just can't wait. Like it also still features all the awesome like showcasing of tech, like especially with the controller. And it's just going to be a damn good platformer. Like I cannot wait for the full game.
For you, I'm hearing comparisons of it to Mario Galaxy. Would you say?
I've heard someone straight up say that's what it feels like. So yes, definitely can see the comparisons being made there. So that was fantastic. As well from Summer Game Fest, the Power Rangers game looks awesome. Cannot wait for that. Alan Wake 2 DLC. I think some people, I'm sure Steve, you probably jumped in already at this point.
I haven't had a chance.
Oh, sleeping.
Unbelievable. Sleep for 11 hours. Could have been playing Alan Wake. But yeah, like that looked great as well. Sam Lake, also just an absolute legend. The way he came out on stage, he has so much presence. I love that dude. And then the Xbox showcase, there were so many cool things. I mean, Gears. I'm so hyped.
Yeah.
But I think we just put up our video of our
We just put it up
from the Xbox showcase. So that's up there for people to check out if you want to hear our in-depth thoughts on that. Yeah, it was a great weekend full of a ton of summer game festivities. I was really glad to take part in it. I had a ton of fun, and I hope to go back next year. And I hope it's just as big next year, especially, that Xbox showcase. They brought the Thunder, man. Nobody expected that they were going to be the best thing that we got out of that weekend.
Absolutely.
And there it was. And the last thing, although actually I don't know, is this still under embargo? Are we allowed to talk about Phantom Blade?
I don't know. I didn't get
No idea.
I
Never mind.
I think people can talk about it. I think it may.
I mean, we know the game's there, but I don't know if we can talk about it. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if there's an embargo.
I just got my assets from them. That's it.
But I'll say this. I'll say that was the last game they showed for Summer Game Fest, and it looks freaking awesome. Okay.
Fair statement.
And I'm talking about the trailer that they showed at Summer Game Fest.
To be clear, the trailer, just the trailer.
Trailer look amazing. That's right.
Summer Game Fest, and it looked like it would be a lot of fun to play from that trailer.
I think you are allowed to say, because I think I heard Andy Cortez talking about it on Kind of Funny already.
Okay.
Phantom Blade Zero?
Freaking rules.
I don't know. Okay.
If we have to cut that out, just cut it out. But
that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it freaking rules from the trailer, So there you go.
From the trailer, it freaking rules. But that's about it. Again, it was a really awesome weekend. I'm glad that I got to spend it with most of the panel here today. And yeah, that's it.
Can't forget about tacos. Can't forget about the tacos.
And the tacos. Kenny's tacos, of course.
Yeah.
Howlin' Rays. I had Howlin' Rays as well. You guys got. If you're in LA, go to Howlin' Rays. Okay, that's it. Sorry, I have to run, but I can't wait to hear the rest of your guys' thoughts, especially from the Ubi Forward, because Assassin's Creed looks amazing. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. It looks like, the hunger that I have for another Ghost of Tsushima. It feels like that game is going to help me get there, So
awesome.
I'm hyped. But all right, guys.
All right.
Have a good rest of the podcast.
All right. Take care. Anyone else want to talk about Astro Bot? Anyone tried it out?
Yeah.
I brought it up. I didn't have it written down here. So,
I mean, Steve, do you want to talk about it first and then?
Yeah, sure.
Start?
I think there was a lot that I was kind of excited about for this one because it was the sort of the technical showcase of the PS5 when it came out, and it was sort of, in a sense it was kind of a tech demo. But what I love is that the fans really kind of like pushed sort of PlayStation to be able to make this into a full blown game, and it has the exact same charm. It has the exact same cuteness that you love about Astrobot. The controls are very similar to it. I think it's the same as the original, just more enhanced. Like the haptics are probably like the thing that impressed me the most. I mean, the haptics were great in the first one anyway, but this one, it really does feel like that they really kind of honed that in and made sure that every surface you touch, you are feeling it in the controller, and that each surface actually has its own sort of unique haptic feedback, which is really great. But what I love too is that essentially you're kind of the whole thing, instead of looking for like pieces of hardware, of old PlayStation hardware, like from the first one, you're actually looking for other Astrobots that have and some have costumes of different like PlayStation characters. So the ones we saw were from Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart. So we saw those, and it was just they kind of live in your controller in a sense. They kind of the sort of the touchpad pops up, and then that's where the little Astrobots are living, and you can actually be able to like play with it because it has like a gyro sort of thing on it, so you can be kind of move it to the side. You see the bots kind of swaying side to side. You can actually be able to you bounce the controller up and like up, and it's sort of like you can juggle them up and down as you're sort of playing.
Can you hear them in the controller if you shake it?
Yeah. You can definitely.
Wait, what? That's so cool.
Yeah. It honestly is pretty amazing and just what they're able to do with that, and it is definitely one I highly recommend it for anybody. One of the cool thing is, at least from the accessibility side, was that the haptics really again help with the immersion, but also you can actually be able to play this without ever having to touch your right thumbstick. for the camera. They designed it so that no matter what you're doing, your camera is always facing towards whatever direction you're looking at. So you can literally play the entire game without having to use both thumbsticks, which is really great for accessibility. So that one less thumbstick to be able to worry about. Yeah, and then I think that. It's just so freaking charming. I mean, Camille, you were kind of watch it, and you got to play a little bit of with some of the Magnus stuff that was there. That I didn't get a chance. What do you think?
Yeah, firstly, it's just a beautiful game. Like it looks so good. The backgrounds, like the splashing of like the water and stuff, like it just looks so beautiful, and it does feel like, you know, how much you would love a Mario Galaxy game. Like it has that feeling of it as well, especially with like the Lombax love and like this kind of ode to PlayStation Pass in where the room we were going to wait to test out the game. They showed Sly Cooper. They had Jackson Daxter in like Astrobot form, so like you see like the characters that they're going for. It looks like there's going to be a lot of them that we've seen before in Astro's Playroom, but then like maybe some more. But the magnet, so like the haptic, it feels different every time you're interacting with like a different item. So they have this magnet where like Astrobot will grab and then everything will be magnetized to him. And you feel that like that immediate like surge, and you feel the heaviness of the controller. Like it's so weird to explain, but again, it's just showing the beauty of like the PS5 controller, which we don't see that much, and like that's why I'm really excited to hop back in. And you do feel them like the other bots like just kind of in the controller as you're playing as well, and they'll pop out occasionally. So it's like it's really cute, really charming, a lot of attention to detail. And it's like, I think Astro, there's a lot of like this whole Summer Game Fest, and like Summer of Games stuff that we're getting. It's like making me really, really fall in love with the sidekicks that we're being introduced to. And I could totally see they had like a Astrobot statue in the play area that we were testing out the game. And I'm like, they need to come out with like a bunch of Astrobots, like miniature size that you could just put on your desk, in the vein of Kratos, in the vein of Nathan Drake, in the vein of Ratchet and Rivet, right? Like I want them all of them.
Let me call
look at that.
Those are so cool.
Let me call up.
I got closer shot of it.
They'll be able to sort you out, Camille.
Yeah, I just need them all. Like we need more of the, and that's the exciting thing. It's like it just feels like a fun summer game. You know what I mean? Like a game that you're gonna look at that. Cool. Aren't they adorable? Like a game you just want to hop in. Yeah, they need to sell them. Like a game that
should have been a swag bag instead of
the Discord box.
Just a massive box that we got. Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm just really excited to see. Well, obviously play Astrobot. Also to see where they go with this franchise, because I think Astrobot is that mascot now, or becoming that mascot.
I feel like he took the mantle from Sackboy. Like Sackboy.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
Like
Sackboy became robotic.
I mean, they have the same shape, kinda.
They're not indifferent. But what I like about Astrobot, not Astro Boy, Camille, is that.
Did I say Astro Boy?
I think you
I've been saying that nonstop, saying Astro Boy, Astrobot.
The thing I love is it's like an ode to PlayStation, right? Like every element of that character and the environment that he traverses and the characters he's surrounded by are all related to PlayStation. So that's kind of incredible. It's like the game that represents all of the games.
Oh my god,
it's so cool.
Riley, you would have loved it. In the room they had like this it was pretty much like a vinyl laying out the timeline of PlayStation hardware with like Astrobot, like a bunch of different Astrobots throughout. Like the first one obviously with the PlayStation 1, right? You see the like RC cables. The AV, and so I'm pretty sure kids these days, these younger creators are like, what is that red cable? What is that yellow cable?
The red,
what's that white cable? But it was just like beautiful, and I think that's what they're lining this up to be. And if Astrobot could be that character that guides you through these different. Oh my god, I need an Astrobot Lego.
Oh,
I need
that'd
an
be interesting.
Astrobot Lego game. That would actually be wild.
Well,
That
I
would be
think Camille,
crazy.
I think we talked about the idea of like, what if they partnered up with Funko Pop and basically released all the Astrobots with all the different costumes from PlayStation as Funko Pops? Like, I would buy those
Easy money.
immediately.
That's easy money right there.
Easy money.
I don't.
Steve's
Well, I
got
don't know if you
Funko.
He's on the phone with him right now.
order bonuses, but you can one of the you unlock some of the costumes. They're calling them costumes, so I think you'll actually be able to dress your Astrobot up as Ratchet and Clank or Sly or
Cute.
or Parappa the Rappa or whoever, which is kind
The
of
Hunter from Bloodborne, our favorite.
The Hunter from
PlayStation.
Bloodborne.
See, that is
yeah.
available. Yeah.
Well, they updated the original Astro's Playroom on PS5, and
They
they
did.
added some of these new characters into it that you can go and find and get new achievements for. And then there's a portal that leads you into Astrobot, which is cool.
Which is
way.
which is
Oh,
pretty
neat.
interesting too, right? Like that there's this like cross marketing here that's happening with Astro's Playroom, and like that's a pretty old experience if you think about it. I wonder if we're gonna see more updates
But every
with
PS5
Playroom.
owner has it because it was free.
That is
so it's
true.
kind of
That
a
is
cool
true.
tie-in.
Yeah.
Awesome. Steve, you did. I don't know if you, Steve, did you try it out? I don't remember. Or
No,
okay.
I have something coming up for it.
okay, cool. So back to the Summer Game Fest. One that got me yelling a lot. Besides, I mean, I'm pretty sure Steve and myself were pretty much the loudest guy. When Alan Wake showed up, I heard him yelling.
Oh my God.
but this one got me.
I scared the people next to me.
Yeah. But this announcement, got me yelling because I just see Terry Bogard walking, and I see Mai in the background. I'm like, and then they're mixing it up with Street Fighter characters. I'm like, oh my god, Capcom vs SNK is
that
coming
guy.
up, and then like it's actually year 2 of Street Fighter 6, which started a great lineup. Terry, so you're getting some guest characters. This is definitely their way of like putting their foot in the water, being like, okay, if you like this, maybe we might do a Capcom vs SNK 3 once again. But it has Bison and some other great characters as well. So that one definitely got the room hootering and hollering, that's for sure. Then it was Tears of Metal, and then Dragon Ball Sparking Zero coming out October 11th. We had a chance to talk about it. I have no idea when embargo is lifted.
I don't think we could talk about it yet. I think it's the 13th.
Yeah,
Or when would this come out? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I literally haven't unpacked my bag, so I have no idea. It's in my suitcase with all the candy we have. Grave Seasons as well. Sleep Awake, Fear of the Spotlight, the Simulation, then the Power Rangers game, Rita's Rewind.
Wait. You're going fast. Simulation, right? You're on?
The Simulation, yeah.
Yeah, so that was a part of Blumhouse, right? What were you just talking about?
Was that the Blumhouse one? I don't remember.
Yeah, Blumhouse games when they pretty much came on stage and they act about. I don't know where you left off, but I think that's where you are. But like that Blumhouse games announcement.
Yep, you're right.
No, I was not the only one that was just freaking out over how they are doing horror.
Yeah,
I'm so
it's
excited.
a great initiative. So go ahead.
Yeah,
Tammy.
Steve. Oh, yes.
Well, like just the way I'm just like, oh, 1, oh, 2, oh, 3,
Yeah.
4. And I was like, oh my God. And then each game, how it is like a different genre to horror. And like they have a background, they know what they're doing. So to bring that to this medium, I'm super excited to see how they do that.
Yeah, that was my whole takeaway too. Like knowing that essentially they're being this like publishing arm and approaching independent developers and studios and just saying, hey, we'll take your project on to publish it, but also give you like a whole bunch of money. The one that was kind of like spotlit during Summer Game Fest was Fear the Spotlight, which is made by like a husband and wife, 2 people. They had actually published the game already, and Blumhouse came up to them and was like, how would you guys like more money to do more of this? And they're like, yup, and took it off the marketplace completely.
Money, all right.
Yeah. This game, Fear the Spotlight, got my game of the show. This game is
wow.
absolutely like unreal. Essentially a love letter to like the original Resident Evil or original Silent Hill. No combat whatsoever. You're just kind of exploring, and it's all environmental puzzles similar to going through the mansion in Resident Evil, which I love. Those are the best parts of those old games.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Do you play, Steve?
Yeah, I played the full
Okay.
half an hour demo. Loved the visual. It's this whole like low poly 90s VHS look to it. And essentially, what it is that you're this high schooler with your friend. You break into the high school at night just to get into the library, which in the past had this whole fire which killed a bunch of kids. They rebuilt it, reopened it, and everything. And you're in there to
as one
use a
does, as we
Ouija
all
board.
did when we were kids.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just a
right.
classic scenario. It's
It's a super fun, goofy mess around. You know how it is.
could be anyone in there, you know?
Right?
That
Who
was all of
knows?
us. Yeah.
It could be little Timmy. Little burnt Timmy. But yeah, you essentially go in
Burnt
there.
Timmy. Oh my gosh.
Little fish stick Timmy, there they call him. And
They serve him up for
Timmy.
lunch.
but to the point of like it being like a Resident Evil game, you get in there and it's like, oh, the Ouija board is locked behind this glass case. Okay,
Yeah.
so you need the key for that. So you go over to the key is in the librarian's office. Well, you need a key to get into there, so you have to go find that one. And then once you get in there, there's like a filing cabinet with notes and everything going back to like what happened during the fire. But you need a tool to get in there. So it's not like overly complicated or anything, but it is kind of one of those things where you're incentivized to explore and get in there, and
Forces you to the areas to get
to the
those
super room.
exactly.
scares.
And then as
is
soon
it
as the
like-
spooky stuff starts popping off, like I had like the headphones on and everything, and it's notably spooky. I was in it, and yeah, a couple scares in there, but
Took you back.
oh, it took me back to those high school days of breaking into the library.
Timmy, and
Fish stick Timmy.
Charlie.
Well, the thing is with this announcement,
Charlie, yeah, exactly.
Charcoal Charlie, because
Charcoal
he got burned
Because of
in
the
a
fire.
jar.
Yeah.
Oh my
Because he got
gosh.
burnt and died.
Oh my gosh. Okay. But firstly, I think we didn't even kick off with like giving people a little bit of background, because I think when they think Blumhouse, they do think the movies like Megan, Five Nights at Freddy's. But and honestly, I thought they were going to present a movie.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this whole 6-game venture into horror genres, and that's the cool thing. They have like they have the Gravestone Seasons was just so interesting, and I think it could really appeal to people who play like farming simulation games, because it's very much in that vein. And then the simulation, which Marcel, that you mentioned, like where you're a game developer, and it's like that was one of the things that, and that's kind of like my takeaway for overall everything from this weekend. In that little chunk of time, they're the same genre. You would think the same type of concept, but they're not. Every game looked so different, and that's one of the things that I appreciated about Summer Game Fest, as well as the Xbox Showcase. Every game looks so different. Like they really stood out as their own, and it's like going back to Jeff's message at the top, it's like you could be that one person, like you were saying, the couple developing a game. It's like spotlighting those games. So I'm actually really excited to see. I don't know if I could play Fear of the Spotlight, because I think I was too spooky. That's why I didn't try that. But like Grave Seasons, I think is something that would be more something I could handle. But the thing is, we don't know like release dates for the others. I don't know if there was a release date for Spotlight.
2024 is all they said.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other one that really caught my attention, it's a huge get for Blumhouse Games, is Project C from Sam Barlow.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's massive. After Immortal, what a good get for Blumhouse.
Yeah. Even the crystal of Theater of the Idols looked pretty cool. Looks like almost Atomic Heart with BioShock a little bit. So So
Like every trailer, I was just like, I play that. Oh,
yeah.
I play that.
It was
too.
just
Yeah, I
happening
play
so
that
fast.
too.
I just forgot. I forgot to write down Blumhouse. That's why I was like, wait, what? I was like, oh, that's why. It was like this. Just like that happened
So
twice throughout the
many
show. So
And then it was right after that, so I was already hyped on that.
Do the spooks.
The Spooks.
I love the spooks. They're my
The
favorite.
Spooks. And then it was right after that, because Caboose and I were sitting next to each other. We hear and we're like, and then you hear go Power
well, just
Rangers."
before that, I accidentally skipped
like,
something as
oh.
well. There was Delta Force. Then it was also City of the
Oh, yeah,
Wolves that was playable as well. Fatal Fury. We played that a little bit as well. And then Mecha Break is another one that we saw, and Battle Crush, another one. But then yes, Power Rangers came up. looked absolutely amazing. I need it right now. Honestly, I'm honestly surprised it's not the people who did the Ninja Turtles game that are making that. Like, it looked really, really neat, especially with the different perspectives when you're jumping in the Zord. It becomes first-person mode and everything. So that one looked really, really, really cool. And then there was...
Did any of you get the chance to play Wanderstop? That was like one that I noticed that looked really interesting. It's the same team from Stanley Parable. It's like you're making a tea shop, but then like there's definitely some dark shit going on in the background.
Weird. Yeah,
I think it was available to play, but I barely got a chance to check in the HQ, which is where they had a lot of the demos, and I wasn't able to make my way in there. But I think it was playable.
Man, I'm excited.
I honestly didn't see it, to be honest.
Me neither.
Yeah.
No.
There was a lot going on, but that was a highlight for me, definitely.
Darren Boy, one of those other games to make people cry once again. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Slitterhead. Feel free to stop me because I know there's so many games here.
Right here with Slitterhead. This game looks great, but it has the most unfortunate name in existence. I don't know who passed that name. That's an atrocious name. It makes me feel icky when I say it. Like, hey, you want to play Slitterhead?
I'm like, nah, I'm good. Yeah,
Slitterhead?
That just sounds dirty when you say it.
Yeah.
You know what?
Slitterhead, I barely know her head.
I do remember at one point that was a trailer where like you're possessing other people's bodies, right? And everything like that.
Yeah.
That's the one?
Yeah. So I remember at one point people are literally like jumping and then you just swap to the other body and like a partner's like, wait, what happened to the other guy? He's just dead. Like he totally just Super Mario World Yoshi'd him. He's gone. Gotta go moving forward.
He's in the past.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
But it looks like a cool concept for a
absolutely,
game.
yeah.
But yeah, it's just a unfortunate name.
100%. Another one that stole the show, which I thought this was a chicken nugget, but no, it was a bean. Killer Bean.
Killer
Bean.
Dope as hell.
Mm-hmm.
I did find out that was actually made in Unreal Engine 5.
Oh,
that's hilarious. It has
couldn't
that feel.
couldn't tell.
5 at the show.
Like
It has
Duke
that
Nukem feel.
Yeah, Duke Nukem. It's kind of also like a Crazy Frog, kind of crossover. Like the era of the dancing baby, the Crazy Frog. That like really stood out to me, and like the humor of it.
Yeah.
To actually try that.
What's the dancing baby?
You don't
like
remember the dancing baby meme
like
from
it was just like a
from Ally McBeal.
Yeah,
no, like,
from Ally McBeal. That's what it was. That's what it was from.
Was it from Ally McBeal?
Yeah, Ally McBeal. Yeah, that's what I remember.
Oh, I just remember like email threads and people would put the dancing
like funny
baby.
junk. Yeah,
it's basically a little baby like in a diaper, and they're just very.
I've never seen this in my life.
You've never seen it?
What? There's no way.
That's
that
like
was
internet history, right?
Yeah,
there. That was like one of the first gifts. I think
is disturbing.
It is
because it was like the first big like 3D like look 3D in the real world type of thing. Yep. And people were like, wow, this is like that's why it blew up so much. So
oh no.
Just baby dancing.
It was pretty much like with everything. It wasn't just that song. Like it was every song.
It was just like a GIF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Karen was another game that came out. And then I guess I feel free to stop me because I know there's so many things announced.
Is that the climbing game?
Yes.
Yeah, that one looked pretty cool. It seems like kind of like had a Firewatch kind of vibe, but with mountain climbing. So I'd be curious to check that one out.
Then Wonderstop, like Sammy mentioned, Unknown Awakening, Monster Hunter Stories, Itora, The First Descendant. Was there a demo? I know I saw boxes. Was there a demo to try out? Anyone try that one out? Was there?
Of which one?
Stories?
Not Stories. The First Descendant.
I didn't. I know that it was playable, but I didn't get a chance to check it out.
Yeah, it was like behind closed door.
Yeah,
I don't think it was on the showroom floor.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about
what's in those boxes though?
I was like a bottle and something. I don't know.
Oh, okay, because it looked like a briefcase. It was kind of neat. I was like, oh, what's in there?
Anyway. Did you want to talk about Stories though, or Steve? Or
no, I didn't play it.
Games, bro.
Too many games.
We're not even at Xbox yet.
I'm trying to go as fast as possible. There's a Toro as well. I do want to give a special shout out to this. I know like this is a lot, but Utter Sloth, they're helping out funding so many other games such as Mars First Logistic, Battlesuit Aces, Mass Field Archive, One Button Bosses, Rogue Eclipse, Project Dosa, and then they also announced it Among Us show. I want to give a huge shout out to a fellow Canadian, Victoria Tran, as well from Inner Sloth. So I'm sorry. I know it's not the only. Well, you know what? Too bad, Victoria. You get all the praise. I'm sure it's you and your whole team, but it's you. But you get all of it. Yeah.
So she probably
you're getting all of it. Sorry, other team.
Higher at the company, so she's been there.
But then you know what? You get all the praise.
But also I will say that Project Dosa, that's from the folks who made Thirsty Suitors. That's their next project. So definitely great dude, Eka, who was he's been around. He's been in the industry for a while. I met him a couple years ago. He was the one who told me he was the first person I ever met that ever worked on the Matrix Online, which was one of my favorite games.
Wow.
So
goddamn, that's wild.
Yeah, he's been in it for a while.
Yeah. And then Sonic Cross Shadow Generations coming out October 25th. Some guy lost his mind when Shadow showed he had wings. I don't know what that is about. And I'm a Sonic fan. I have no idea what's happening there, but I'm just happy it's coming out soon. It looks. I did try it out, and it looks really good, like graphical wise and everything. Seeing
that's good.
Stages.
I'm pretty excited for that game.
Yeah, seeing stages from like Sonic Adventure 2, it just makes me like, can you just remaster that game now? Like it looks really good.
Bonus for it is like the Sonic Adventure skin.
What?
For Sonic?
Yeah. I remember. I remember that. Yeah. Dune Awakening. I don't know why I wrote down Battle Aces again. Maybe they showed it twice. The final season 3. I didn't even know season 2 started. I'm just letting it be honest with you.
Every time they show a trailer for the finals, it gives me a headache with so much with all the flashing and everything that's going on in those trailers. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. You give me a headache every time.
Damn.
I like the aesthetic of it. I think it's okay like for a game to have like a slow kickoff, like because then it's really finding like its niche audience. And if they're able to keep going for season 3, like they're dedicated, it seems like, to put more content out there. I think this is one of those games where maybe people will underestimate it for like the first 5 years, and then it'll like, if it goes 5 years, first 3 years.
Steve V, take it away with Alan Wake 2 DLC.
Oh my goodness, my dude Sam Lake out on the stage, dancing his little heart out, and then bringing the heat with that DLC. I love the concept of it, of this what if, situation of like 3 independent stories. All we got Jesse back. I don't know what they're going to do with Jesse from Control, but I think that's such a cool addition for this game. And yeah, similar to what happened with Control, bringing in, Alan Wake DLC into it. I think it's going to be awesome to lead off into. Oh, that's a great
awesome
pick.
photo.
I sent it to Vita, who's the community director at Remedy, and she's like, I am so sending this into Slack right now.
But I think it's really awesome to reintroduce everyone to Jesse, to kind of then pass the baton over to an inevitable Control 2.
I
Also above all that,
wait.
a limited edition collector's edition of Alan Wake 2
Yes.
is coming out.
Limited run
now.
Yeah.
Available now?
Yeah.
to pre-order.
Yeah, it's like a 6-week window or something like that to be able to buy it. I think.
Worth the wait.
Yeah, but even if you buy just, I did see that if you buy just the game itself, the physical edition, it comes with Alan Wake remastered, so you can be able to play both.
Yeah,
awesome.
and it comes with the DLC on disc, but Alan Wake remastered is a code. But that's
right.
That's fine though. I mean, the fact you get both games, you can be able to play them both. That's awesome.
So everyone should go out and play Alan Wake 2 because it's a masterpiece.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what Rose's little episode is going to be. Like, that's just going to be wild.
Did you pre-order it, Steve?
Yes.
Okay, this one.
Oh, you did?
Yes, of course he
Yes,
did.
yes.
Of course he did, yeah.
I think I might need to go through. Okay, I need to find this.
$200 we're looking at here. US?
$200 Canadian?
I don't know if limited. I don't know if
edition.
I don't know if limited runs converts over to Canadian. Is it, or Steve? You tell us.
Is it limited run?
See,
I'd have to double check. I know it was, when I saw it, it was 200.
Okay, yeah, I saw
the full collector's edition, right?
Yeah.
yeah, it's 200 for the collector's edition.
I don't know if it's just 200 Canadian or
that's USD.
That looks like USD. So 250 you're looking at, 270, something like that.
Our dollar kind of sucks right now, so maybe
You're looking at 270 most likely
Mm.
right now. So It's worth it.
You guys,
Alan Wake needs more money. Give him money, damn it. If I saw him in person,
Alan Wake 3.
Yeah, if I saw him in person, I would put money in his pocket. Like, here you go, sir. Alan Wake 3 coming up.
What's the studio doing next? Is it Mad Max? No, not Mad Max. What am I thinking?
Control
of?
2, I think.
Max Payne.
So they have a separate team working on Max Payne.
That's
Control 2, Control 2 multiplayer.
Yeah.
And then inevitably, you assume Alan Wake 3 after that.
Yeah.
We can only assume.
You can only assume.
Yeah.
But I'm just over here assuming.
You and me over here assuming.
Then New World Eternum is coming to PC, coming to consoles, crossplay as well.
I'll just say a quick word about this. I was very intrigued about New World when it first got revealed, like for PC. But I was like, I'm never going to play an MMO on a PC like a big nerd. I'm not going to do that. Playing Eternum on like
Sammy's
a console,
like, what?
on a console. I'm kind of sold on this game. I can definitely see myself jumping in with friends, having a ball, completing missions, gathering materials, and for food and stuff like that. I think it has a lot of potential, and I think opening up a wider install base as well will really drive this game. And it being a fresh start, a new kind of jumping off point for players. I think that's the best option for Amazon right now.
No, I definitely tried it out as well, and I don't know why I thought it was a top-down game. For some reason, maybe it's just maybe I just watched someone else playing it and they had their camera that way. But when I was playing this, I was like, it was giving me like Valheim a little bit vibes a little bit. Yeah. So, which I love Valheim. So I was like, oh, this is pretty neat. So that definitely surprised me as well. So that's coming out to crossplay and everything as well. So good job with Amazon with that. There was Honkai Star Rail. Don't know what is happening in that game, and I can't be bothered, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no.
It's Dark and Darker. There's another one, Path of the Goddess, the Capcom game, which is more of a tower defense game. I know some of you tried it out as well, Summer Game Fest, or no one? No one did?
Path of the Goddess?
Yeah.
Yeah, that game did not demo well whatsoever.
Yeah.
No.
I'm really surprised by what the game is compared to what we've seen of it. I thought it was like an action game of some sort, but it's a tower defense game. And just kind of the way that they throw you into it and explain the mechanics as you kind of go along. I was just straight up. I asked the guy, I was like, oh, just kind of curious, like, how long is this demo? And he's like, if you wanted, it could be upwards of 2 hours. I was like, I'm hard out now. Like I played one round. I was like, that's good. I got it.
I did one level, and there's a lot of like visually, like it's like the game's really like neat with the art style. It looks like an oil painting. And there's definitely a lot of Japanese culture in the game as well, because there's certain like different like desserts and like gifts you might get that are like oh, this is what people ate 100 years ago or 1,000,000 years ago and everything. But like, yeah, it's trying to sell it as definitely a game that needs to like have a demo before people being like, oh, is this a game for me? Because they showed it off as an action game, and then you look at it, you're like, oh no, it's just tower defense, and you go and like cleanse this person, and then they're a villager, but what's their role? They're a woodcutter now and everything, and yeah, I don't know. It's a little deflating, I must say.
Yep.
Hyper Light Breaker was another one that came out. That was there to test out. I didn't test that one out. I don't know if anyone else did. Riley, this one's for you. Party Animals.
I know, but like I was kind of disappointed that they didn't show anything new.
So you were disappointed for Party Animals. That's what you're saying on record?
So don't twist my words, please. No, I like that they're adding like go-karting. It looks like Mario Kart to it. So that was kind of like the new thing at the end, but some of the other elements like have been in Party. Like I was playing like the other day. I'm like, this is all in there already.
Yeah.
So I was to be honest, I was kind of hoping for multi-platform confirmation.
Yeah.
Like the PS5, Switch. I think it'd be really good, but I'm not sure what the exclusive.
Well, not until they got Legos, they're not getting Party Animals. That's the trade-off.
That's the trade-off.
Right
but
there.
now that it is getting a cart mode, does this open up Party Animals as ongoing game of the year?
Oh,
I think it
does.
Wins it. Handley wins it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want them to do like a Crash Bash type of thing with Party Animals. I think would be fun.
We're getting there with it. They're adding like a lot of like really kind of out there things to it now, which I really appreciate. Like they fleshed out like a like a single player campaign almost that they have, and then
I
like
didn't know that.
missions. Yeah, it's like kind of turning into something that I never thought it would be. And the best part is like they've added all this stuff for free. Like they're not charging.
So is it like the tutorial, like how you go through the tutorial?
But it's tutorial, yeah. Well, I don't know when you played it, but like initially they had like just a very bare bones tutorial, and you do that, and a little achievement pops if you did it in under 3 minutes or something like that. Now they have like full on co-op missions where you're like on a pirate ship, like shooting cannons at another, like these other people and fighting people that are boarding on, like, and they're all computers. So it's they're really fleshing it out in neat ways.
They got more achievements for this game. What are we talking here?
They've added more achievements to it. Yeah, they keep adding stuff to it.
All right. I got to read.
So we're both like,
I love it.
Fire up the system.
I hope that they get it on. I hope they bring it to more storefronts because I think that it's a really, really good game. Like, and it's just growing in ways that I never expected it would be when I first started playing it.
Awesome. Skate playtest was coming out this fall. They didn't have anything there. I know they just had like a shirt, but I don't think they had anything there, right?
At Play Days, no.
Yeah,
but I was gonna say they brought out Tim Robinson. I mean, come on.
Every trailer needs I told you to stop me with everything. Yeah. Feel free to jump in. There's so much going on. And then Camille, why don't you take it with this person since you are a Nintendo representative? You had a heart-to-heart talk with.
Legally, she is not.
Legally, she's not. But you had a heart-to-heart talk.
I'm a Nintendo representative, and what am I talking about? What are you?
You had a heart-to-heart talk with Pal World that showed up next.
I wouldn't call it a heart-to-heart talk, but I mean, I don't know anything about Pal World, so I don't know what you want me to talk about.
It's fun.
They just showed up with some new content as well, so that was the thing that came out.
New Pokemon.
New Pokemon.
I haven't tried.
Palmon.
I honestly haven't tried.
Let's try, Sam. You trying to get me in trouble with Pokemon World? You don't want me to get in trouble with Pokemon.
I think as far as like content offering goes, this is exactly what I wanted to see out of like Wave 2. You know?
Yeah, you're Pal World.
Yeah, I love Pal World.
Steve.
I was the unofficial Nintendo representative or whatever.
I'm just gonna put in captions right now underneath her name. It's Nintendo.
But I think just looking at what their whole roadmap was going to be, going from raids to a new island to new monster pals, that's what they call them. It just checked off the box for me getting back into the game when all of this drops.
Awesome. Valorant coming to consoles, and I'm going to be honest with you. I think Steve Sailor and I had the same idea. We're like, I thought this was already on consoles. I had no idea. It was so wild. That's
I remember playing it on PC, but I just thought like since then they've put it out on console.
I was there with you, trust me. So that's huge. Absolutely good market to get into. The Monster Hunter Wilds. I didn't see the playthrough. Steve, you saw it, right?
I did, yeah, and it demoed pretty well, especially for a game that is coming out next year. Obviously, I'm not a Monster Hunter fan, so a lot of like the nuance and the very micro systems really went over my head. But I think some of the cool stuff there was like going after this hunt and then seeing the weather come in and the sandstorm comes in, and then all of a sudden new different monsters kind of emerge, and then they are able to kind of jump in and either help and assist or just kind of make it even more difficult for you and your friends to defeat this monster. For me, though, I'm still interested in the game overall, but to me, sitting there seeing, you're putting myself in the player's shoes and then seeing there not being any kind of like health bar on the monster and then just kind of going after it for like upwards of 40 minutes. I'm like, I understand that the whole thing is taking visual cues, seeing the monster start like panting, sweating, and then there's like red wounds that kind of open up and you can attack them. I understand that's kind of the system here, but for me who loves, great boss battles, but I love getting to the point where me and my friends are like, got the enemy down to 10% health and we're like, let's go. And then it just goes down. Here, like I'm watching the demo, I was like, okay, it's going. And then all of a sudden the monster just kind of keels over and dies. I was like, that's it.
Well, not only that,
Well,
but they
I
were
think,
like, at one point they were fighting it and then whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, no, we're just gonna go back to camp, grab some more people, and then come back, which I know is part of the game, but just like. What, like, so if you could do that, like, what's the point of? Yeah, I don't know. It just, I think it just didn't demo well, at least from my perspective. I was like, yeah, okay, it seems all right, but I will fully admit, and this is not any shade towards Capcom or the folks who are putting on the demo, but it was one of those kind of rooms where I was starting to fall asleep, and it was just hard. Yeah, I was really trying to be able to.
I'm not with him, Capcom. I love you guys.
No, again, this has nothing to do with the game. I'm sure it plays better than it actually looks in the demo.
The demo now we're allowed to talk about. The embargo lifted today. I thought it was. I'm not like a huge Monster Hunter fan, but it's always been that game that's intrigued me. I never got like into it like with my backlog. Monster Hunter Wilds actually really intrigued me. So I think like some of the like things that Steve was talking about, like with the health bar and stuff. I know it's an early build demo that we saw, so I don't know if like that's something that may be added later. You start off.
No, apparently that's a
staple. That's a Monster Hunter staple.
Yeah. Oh well. Sorry, Steve.
I know. I thought the same thing too, because I was like, well, for accessibility, it'd be better if it was health bar. Nope, that's been like that all along. Okay.
Yeah, so
it's a real world. It's real monsters.
So the demo starts off. You're at a base camp in the village of Konofa, and then like they have this cool thing, which is like kind of like a Monster Hunter staple, where they have like weird puns and like the food cooking or like getting food is like a huge thing. So they showed us like when you get cheese and like you're eating the cheese, the character said like a lot of puns, which I thought was funny. They also introduced like you could do mobile camps now, which is new as well, and then they could also be destroyed by other by monsters in the setting, which is kind of that was really cool. And then you could also like, so the difference is I think whenever you would have like a monster before like an encounter, it automatically starts the like interaction and the quest when you're close to the monster. But now it's when you hit the monster. So when you hit a monster, it starts the quest, and then you have obviously different types of monsters, but you could use them more to your advantage, which I thought was cool. They had like the Bolera, which is a Leviathan type of monster, and it kind of like sits under the sand. So if another monster's following you, you could trigger the Bolera in order to like then eat the monster that's following you, and then you would have to fight the Bolera. So like I think there's some cool and interesting things that you could do with like monster hunting. They have a focus mode. You could also use your environments now into like battles, which I think is really cool. And yeah, I think this is actually the one where I would be checking out more, especially because you have like total of 4 characters or 4 players that you could play along with. So Steve, if you get over that hurdle of the health bar, I would love to hop in with you.
Oh, trust me, I'm still gonna jump in, but just in terms of like,
it's definitely like
it's selling itself to me. It was one of those things where I'm gonna have to get over this because I think there's a lot of really cool stuff in the game.
And then the other cool thing was when you're attacking a monster, you could actually hop onto it and attack it like from being in mounted position.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, Dragon's Dogma 2 kind of did a lot of this.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Steve. Steve.
Lazy Capcom and copying mechanics from one game to the other. No, I'm just joking.
I'm interested. Come out next year.
I'm joking.
I'm just joking.
And then to close off the show was Phantom Blade Zero, which like Caboose mentioned, it looked really, really good. Overall, what do everyone think about the show? I guess if you had to give it a rating.
Did we talk about the Kingdom of Deliverance?
Yeah.
Can I just say how funny was it when Jeff was like Kingdom of Deliverance, and everyone's like, "Oh,
Kingdom of Hearts." Yeah.
But then also Kingdom of Deliverance, it kind of reminded me of Shrek, or like Robin Hood Men in Tights, and I'm kind of interested in it. I love the humor.
Great.
I haven't played Kingdom of Deliverance at all. So like if it has like all that humor and it plays well, I may actually check it out. I think it was a good showcase. I think like it was like good for what the expectation that Jeff set. I think if there was no expectation set by Jeff, a lot of people would have went in expecting like the big announcements. When you look to last year's Summer Game Fest, like, I mean, this one's okay, like, to me. I don't think it was like a bad showing with those expectations taken in consideration, even though Steve is like,
well, okay, all right, hold on. Before you start putting words in my mouth.
But you literally
did.
You
literally like,
I heard it.
Words. What? I sighed. That's what. I
didn't put words in your mouth, Steve. I sighed.
That could mean anything.
Roll back the tape, Marcel. Roll back the tape.
Flip it.
maybe he's tired. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I've been tired. I don't know. I mean, you are right that I think Jeff sort of set up the expectations. I think pretty well. I think even Ubisoft did that. But I think what was missing from Jeff's show, and this is not necessarily a bad thing about Jeff specifically, or his team or anything like that. I just think that what he may be hoping for is that his show will essentially replace E3, which it kind of already has with Play Days. But you could see that the big three are missing. Like there are some, he did have some PlayStation exclusives, and he was able to get at least a similar sort of trailer from Xbox. Nothing really like officially from Nintendo, but. And I think it's just sort of more indicative to the industry at this moment. And I think that's how we sort of felt going into this, was that it was going to be a slow year. There wasn't really going to be, much to be able to kind of celebrate or, talk about a lot. I personally thought this is going to kind of be more of the year of the indies and the year of the PC titles, more so than console.
Those prices, that's for sure.
But my criticism with it is, I think it's 2 hours, which is honestly like an hour or like a 30. Like basically, it was too long. I think it was like if they cut it down to like 30 minutes, like to an hour and a half, like it would have flowed a little bit better. And I always have this criticism, even with the Game Awards too. Like it can be long, but I would rather more see people, actual developers on stage than necessarily just games itself. But I don't know. I feel like, yes, there's some games there for everybody. If I had to rate it out of like a 10, I would probably give it a 6.5. It, had some moments in there, didn't really wow me a lot. And it's not that I was expecting like huge expectations from them, but I will say that if we had to, like, I don't know if we'll eventually get to the point where we can talk about all the Xbox and everything at Ubisoft. I think probably, I'll just say throughout the whole weekend, Xbox won it hands down. Yeah. Like, there was nothing that could compete with it, even with all the announcements in the Summer Game Fest showcase. Like there was like it trounced everything that basically Jeff had in there. I think, and so that's just my thoughts. Yeah. So it's not necessarily like a bad review. It's just it didn't wow me as it had in previous years.
Yeah, that's fair.
I could agree. It was like a 6.57 for me too. An extreme lack of Nick Cage this year, but besides that,
exactly.
There was a couple that I'm just like, ooh, I'm really excited. But for the majority of it, I either already knew or I was just like, okay. So it was a little underwhelming.
Yeah. That keyboard.
That was an aggressive keyboard. Yeah.
Sorry, no, I'm trying to keep going. Go ahead.
Yep. Okay. So I know we already talked about the Xbox. I know, but Riley and Camille and Sammy, do you want to have your inputs? I know the rest of us talked about it. That's episode's available now. So
restate that one more time. Sorry.
What do you think about the Xbox
your
show?
Thoughts on the Xbox, because we already given our thoughts.
Everyone, what do you think about the Xbox?
I liked it. I loved, obviously, Gears. I was never an Xbox kid, but I would go over to my friends like once a week and we always play Gears of War. So I'm super excited for that. I think Mixtape look really interesting. I want to play that game as soon as I can. Obviously, there's so like Avowed, Assassin's Creed, like some really big heavy hitters. I think I do agree. Obviously, I wasn't there in person, but I watched at home. I think the Xbox showcase, I was like sitting there like most interested to the screen, whereas for like Summer Game Fest, I was like, like making food at the same time. Like, yeah, I'll just kind of vaguely listen. Yeah.
Riley?
It's good.
I think that was Xbox's showcase in particular was the best showcase they've ever put on. Like hands down. Like
Absolutely.
they knocked it out of the park. The flow was perfect. Like everything that I was kind of hoping they'd touch on, without Banjo-Kazooie being there, which is fine. But I was thrilled with all of it. And like I put out a tweet not long ago. I was like, it feels kind of like the 360 era's back. And that's a
golden era,
which was on 360. Perfect Dark, which was on
a now viral tweet, by the way.
That's right.
Phil Spencer liked it.
There you go.
Cool. So all those things happened, but like my thought on that is, I feel like Xbox looked at themselves in the mirror. I think the team looked and said, "Who are we? What do we mean to people?" Yeah, and we're seeing it now. Like Gears of War is not just Gears 6, which I think the fan base enjoyed. Great gameplay and stuff like that. But we want Marcus back. We want Dom. Like we want these characters we want that feeling of brotherhood, which made the initial game so exciting and kind of felt like meaningful when it first came out. And we're going back to that and we're reestablishing that. And I think that seeing that comboed with Perfect Dark, which looks incredible, comboed with Fable, which also looks incredible.
Oh my God, so
Doom, which also looks like just hit after hit after hit after hit, and I'm like, this is the Xbox I remember. This is the Xbox I remember coming back from high school, logging on to Xbox Live, booting it up with my buddies, hopping into Gears of War, hopping into Halo 3, like all that stuff. Like it feels like that again, and that's really exciting. So more than anything, like I'm just glad that it seems like Xbox has found their identity. Like they found themselves again. It's like, that's awesome. And it's not just like throwing it back to like the games I remember, like South of Midnight looks incredible. Like all these other new IPs coming up too. I'm like, this is kind of what I wanted from you all along. And you're hitting it. You're hitting out of the park for me. So I think that this was, I don't know. I like Sony's been in the industry so long. Like I feel like I go into a showcase, I'm like, okay, let's see it. Like I want to be excited, but like genuinely, it's very rare that I'm like, whoa, okay, that's awesome. They got me several times in that showcase.
Yeah,
and
I think it's
and it was just sorry.
No.
I was Whatever you're gonna say, Steve.
No, I was just gonna say. Yes, go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry.
No, Camille, you talk because you didn't get a chance to be on the
too much Canadianness.
So much Canada-ness, man.
Camille talked because you weren't on the showcase episode that we did from the thing. So you go ahead.
Yeah. So like I think like I absolutely agree with you, Riley. I'm like,
almost threw up there. She almost threw up there. Almost threw up.
Like, so what I was doing before when you heard my keyboard, I was looking at the showcase of Summer Game Fest last.
Summer Game Fest.
And I was like, it was 2023 was a really good Summer Game Fest. Like it was huge hits. And I think because we had that on our mind as well, if we didn't have the expectation set by Jeff, it would have looked like such a bad showcase this year. Taking that into consideration, I think when you look at last year's showcase compared to this year for Xbox, out of the water, the best Xbox showcase that I've ever seen. When you think they were done, they were not done. They kept going and opening it up with a really good Black Ops 6 trailer. And it's just set the tone that this is going to be a fun ride that you're going to enjoy and you're going to want to stick around for the for the Black Ops 6 direct after, right? Yeah. So it's like, okay, we're good. And then we got our boy. We got Doom Dark Ages, which is such a weird but well-fitting thing. I was actually saying, it reminds me of, because Doom is so, heavy metal and, so badass. But then they kind of have this, Dark Age component that reminds me of Darksiders that is also heavy metal and badass. So it makes me really excited because it's like, if you love Doom and you like that kind of vibe, this is going to have a good time. And then like for the State of Decay like 3, I think they like implemented some, like put in some shots in there that hinted to gameplay as well. Like some of the shots in the trailer were just in a very gameplay-esque perspective that I loved. And then I know like there's not a lot of, may not be a lot of Starfield fans out there, or like people who think they've got their fix with Starfield, but Shattered Space is that Dead Space vibe that I think if you've been missing and wanting, like that may be the thing to head out. So like when you look at top to bottom, obviously like South of Midnight looks so good as well, like the different FPS style animation that's very similar to Into the Spider-Verse, but also stands out as its own because it's all of this like Creo kind of vibe to it. It's just great. Even like Finlock's like Siege of Dawn I was interested in. Fragpunk looks super cool, and I'm curious about like the esports scene that could potentially grow out of that. Mixtape, as Sammy you mentioned. Life is Strange.
Oh my
Double
God.
exposure.
Yeah.
Max is back. Max is back.
I wasn't expecting to see a Life is Strange game, and to see that it's now going to be like this universal shifting murder mystery has my interest. And like I know Indiana Jones was like the big thing. I think what I got out of Indiana Jones was exactly what I thought I would get out of it, so I wasn't as surprised but still really hopeful for it. And then getting that sneak peek of Assassin's Creed Shadows in there before the Ubisoft Direct as well. But like another thing that I thought of the showcase as a whole, there were a lot of amazing women protagonists within the games that were being showcased. The games looked different. There were a lot of women protagonists and a lot of black protagonists that had different hairstyles, like different hairstyles. They had different textures. They had different coils. And it's like when we're talking about overall in this industry and how we want to highlight games of all sizes, games that look different, you do like, this is games that look different. It is the Xbox showcase, and the fact that almost all of these titles are day one Game Pass. A lot of them are coming to PC as well, and world premieres and new IPs that actually get us excited. Like I think it was like the best showcase. I honestly do not know how they're going to be able to top this at all.
Yeah.
And really quickly, I just want to give props to whoever edited or cut the Fable trailer. I actually was like, I was just like, this is art. This is a movie I would go see. Really so I'm super excited for that.
100%. Steve's, before you guys had to take off, what do you think of Star Wars? We might as well jump into Ubisoft Forward, which I don't know how you guys feel. Maybe I'm a little sad about it. A little
Why?
bit.
Oh, really?
That's Star Wars.
We didn't get a big one more thing. Yeah, we didn't get a big.
For the Forward.
For the mainly for the Forward. No, Star Wars, I'm good.
Why are you sad about Star Wars?
But I said for Ubisoft, though, Star Wars is awesome, and Assassin's Creed is awesome as well. But for the Ubisoft Forward, I'm like, I'm a little sad.
That's how I felt too. I think it's
that's the
first,
side.
I gotta run right after.
Oh, go right ahead.
Yeah. I thought Star Wars. Plain and simple, I really love Ubisoft Massive, so I had a lot of faith and expectations going into this, and I think they delivered. Demo that we got to see was basically like 3 vertical slices of the game, essentially showing off one combat, the other one was the traversal, and then the third was the stealth. And I think in each one, I thought they really nailed it. I think this game does kind of help fill that void of wanting those blockbuster, almost Uncharted moments, which is really cool. They're introducing us to a brand new character. I think she's great. Her little sidekick, Nyx, is awesome. He also serves a great purpose for mechanics and gameplay, being like that almost like radar where you're able to, activate him and he'll, show off where enemies are and stuff like that. The ship combat, the dog fights in the space, great. It's almost very similar to what Bethesda did with Starfield. I think they did a very good job with the handling, the shooting mechanics in there. It's really good. But overall, yeah, I'm just kind of I wanted to see more, and now that I have, it's easily rose into like one of my most anticipated games of the year. I hope that, again, it's just not a game that kind of overstays its welcome. I know that they said it can be completed in around 30 hours. I think that's perfect for this game.
Yeah.
So if they can nail the story and kind of keep that momentum, those like really cool blockbuster moments throughout, that's all I need. And the only thing I will say is that if you're looking for a third-person action game with like precise shooting, this is not it. This is very Ubisoft massive. Like if you're used to the shooting mechanics in The Division, this is essentially what you're getting, where not every shot is going to be like that perfect headshot. Like she misses, she like whiffs a shot and everything. But I think that kind of goes into, I think that's interesting. I don't need to be hitting, headshot after headshot in a game. That was just something that I noticed. But yeah, I got to run. It's been a pleasure breaking all this down.
Awesome.
Yeah. And until next week, we'll see you guys later.
Definitely.
See you guys.
Sounds good.
Yeah, bye guys. I feel like we have to like do a definite like 2.0 of like more specifically like UB and Xbox Showcase, like to get everyone's vibes. Yeah. But I will say with Outlaws, like I definitely think like with Outlaws, like I got to play the demo, and it stands out. Like it's freaking really fun. Like, the fun that you would feel watching Han Solo in a Star Wars movie. I really think you're going to get this here, especially like, and this is what I was saying off the top, like this whole weekend, I've been loving the sidekicks of characters, and I'm a huge fan of Nyx and like the little origin story that we saw there in the trailer with like Nyx and how Nyx was freed. So it's like now, like Steve and I were saying like, not Sailor, Vigvari and I were saying like, oh man, if anything happens to Nyx in this story, we're gonna be fighting some people, because it's like you're so in love with this little sidekick that you have that just doesn't do like one-off things there. You could have Nyx do everything like grab or like set traps, attack enemies, and it's actually very versatile how much Nyx can do and how that could impact your gameplay as well. The only thing that I had is like, I wish I spent about an hour with the controls, just because like, so the jumping or the interaction button, I would default in my head to A, but it's actually R stick, pushing down on the R stick.
Yeah, there's a lot of R stick like pushing, even for like opening doors. Yeah. So I was like, what's happening here?
Yeah, it's the interaction button. So like with that was kind of a way I had to shift my mind. And then I did get a little queasy with the dog fighting, which might have just been a me thing, but Steve told me there are accessibility options for that, so I'm gonna have to look into that.
Yeah, actually, the using R3 to be able to interact is something that I did bring up to the folks at Ubi for potential accessibility concerns, because having to constantly be clicking down that button all the time might be difficult for those with motor disabilities. So, not to say that that'll be changed when the game comes out, but hopefully there's an option to be able to swap that out. You can remap the controls, but trying to be able to find a button that be able to replace it would be difficult, at least for controller. Mouse and keyboard would be a little bit easier. But yeah, as far as like being able to be queasy when you're sort of flying around in your ship, they do have an option to be able to turn on what they call center dot, which basically just puts a little permanent dot in the center of the screen. For those with motion sickness, you can be able to focus in on that, and that'll kind of help with a little bit of the queasiness of just like space flying. But yeah, my thoughts on it, I think it's great. I loved what was there. Sure, it was very much on rails, and we didn't really get to see a lot of either the exploration or more the open worldness of what this game is supposed to be, or what we were told just based off of the previews and trailers we've seen. But from what we're like, from the core gameplay of what you're going to be doing, whether it's fighting, traversal or space combat, or even just making certain even doing stealth. I think stealth was probably my favorite thing to do. And Nyx is also, as your sidekick, it's more than just a sidekick that's there. Like you utilize Nyx in a lot of different areas. Like you can use it for stealth infiltration, where you can basically like you can hit a button and there's an icon above an enemy's head, and you're close enough. Nyx will kind of go out and either like jump on them and kind of like distract them and stun them, so you can come up behind them and take them out, or he'll just kind of like walk up and just kind of look super cute and basically will distract an enemy. And he can do the same thing to like basically just take him out from that. So, and they can, he can be able to like, he actually has the ability to, he'll see like, you could scan areas and you could see where like things are like electrical ports are connected to doors, and also be able to like, set traps and take like, and set off traps. And like, there's going to be a lot more kind of like mechanics of like, you could do from the shadows of just kind of sending Nyx out and just doing stuff and doing damage. So it's pretty cool.
So, yeah, and there's a plushie available or soon to be available. I saw they announced that as well. So
looks cute.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. That's
I was not stealth at all too. I realized I am not going to be that stealth person at all.
Oh yeah, I'm there. I'm there with you as well. Yeah, I'm definitely like kicking the bucket, like the can, like whoops, well, I'm here now. Let's start shooting. And then
overall, it was a good weekend. Good weekend. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say Assassin's Creed as well. The different options you could have for the characters, depending on which mission you're going on to. And they also mentioned that like not everyone's gonna have like the same experience. Like, oh yeah, I did this and everything like that. So there's different experience as well.
I think the weather thing is like also very interesting.
Awesome. Yeah. I really like the weather thing as well.
You're going to be able to revisit, the same areas and different weather patterns. Yeah. So I think like that's really cool. That's coming to Assassin's Creed.
Even like small details, like if you're underwater and then like she just gets like a little straw to like blow air and everything. Like those it's really cool and everything. The overall with the whole show, Prisoner News was pretty cool, but I feel like it was just that things we just knew was coming. Yeah, I kind of
wish updates on games that are already out. Basically,
yeah, I kind of wish.
I think that's go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just kind of wish that the Splinter Cell and like even like Just Dance is like they're focusing more on VR. Like there was no like the traditional Just Dance 2025. If that is happening or not, I don't know.
I think they may turn Just Dance into sort of like a hub game, and they're just going to keep sending up updates. Yeah.
But I
that's
think
my prediction anyway.
Yeah, but you look at all the showcases, like they were all games coming out in the near future this year and teasing for the next.
Yeah.
And exactly right. Like I love that. I think we are in that era where we understand games are going to be delayed. We understand that there are holdups at studios, and we do prefer that rather than teams being stressed out to reach timelines that are not meant to actually help a well-developed product, right?
Yep.
So I think focusing like on this year and next year is exactly what we need. And we like you look back at the last couple of years, we've had some freaking amazing games back to back. So I think if you think about it, there would be a lull period where we're just kind of waiting for, again, that another era of like back-to-back games. And like, I'm not saying the games that are coming out this year and next aren't going to be great, but it's just not going to be like that hype I think we had like maybe a few end of last year or like even earlier this year, right? So it's just like, you have to set the expectations right, and take it as it is. Because the good games are there's some great games that were announced and even better yet to be announced that I think they may be saving like a lot of these studios for the Game Awards.
That's why I'm really sorry, Steve, I cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Oh, so I'm really excited because I think that Xbox in particular, Ubisoft too, except outside of Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, which is 2026. I was like, oh, like thanks for the update, but that's so far away.
Yeah.
Was that like outside of Perfect Dark, which I don't believe they gave a date for,
no, they didn't.
No. Gears of War, which they didn't give a date for. It's either this year or next year, and I'm like, whoa, like that's
really
cool. Yeah, that's really cool. So
I think that's where I hope that these showcases moving forward will kind of focus in on, because yes, it's great to be able to hear about the next God of War, but if it's not coming out within the next 2 years, it's only going to build up so much hype that the game's never going to live up to that hype. I mean, we saw that with Cyberpunk. Like, that was announced back in 2012 and it didn't come out until 2020, which like obviously didn't launch well, and it got better as time went on. But I think that it was just the hype was just way too much. And they were promoting it way too early. So I think, I like that these showcases were like, here's the games that are coming out this year, and and we have it slated in for potentially next year as well. And then other than the kind of the odd, either not release date or whatever, I think that kind of fills in some of those gaps of certain things. Like, we may not see Gears for the next maybe year or two, but I could definitely see like within the next year or two, get an actual proper look at it, and also a good window release date that will be relatively soon before that, because I think this overall, I think is how powerful these showcases can actually be. A lot of eyeballs are on these things, and you want to be able to get players excited. But when you have a game that nowadays, it's the whole landscape is different. Like when you have a game that's it's coming out 2026, 2027, it's like. Why talk about it now? Like, what's the point? So these things are supposed to get you excited.
Get away with that.
Yeah,
sure, but Grand Theft Auto is like
that's the only one I'm like, okay,
exactly.
Right.
But I think, I just think it's overall. I think everything was just great about the whole weekend. Yeah, Ubisoft, I wish there was a little bit more. I think my one main criticism that I will say about all the showcases is specifically that Prince of Persia announcement. Yeah, sure. Hearing about Sands of Time being announced for 2026, that's great. That's short little 10-second trailer. That's fine. However, Ubisoft Toronto only just got that project. It was announced a couple weeks ago. Within a couple weeks ago. Yeah. And yet, here's the thing. Ubisoft Toronto has been working on Splinter Cell for
That's what I mean. Like, why not show that?
Any update on that? But we got an
even
update on
a
Prince
simple
of Persia.
3 green lights you could have easily shown and be like,
just like
true. That's it. I'd be like, coming soon.
Hear Sam Fisher's voice just once, and then saying
something.
Coming soon or whatever. Just to let us know that it's being still worked on. I don't know. I get it's Prince of Persia 35th anniversary. They want to have something there, but if the game's not coming out until 37th anniversary, what's the point? But that was my only big criticism of it.
I feel like they felt obligated to give an update on it because it was announced so long ago. But in the same stroke, where's Beyond Good and Evil 2? What are we?
That game does not exist.
I was really hoping for that.
But then, I want Rayman. There's a bunch of stuff that I want, but they're just not talking about anything.
Rayman's in Prince of Persia, the other game. There's a skin in there.
Well, the one thing that I was saying, Riley, it's when they opened up with the trailer for Star Wars, I thought they might have been using the engine from Beyond Good and Evil 2. That they the demo that I think they released as gameplay a year after, back in 2018 or 2017 or something like that, where it's you're in the city, then you zoom out and you're zooming out, going to the ship, and you're able to do that seamlessly. But then I realized, no, it's not the same tech. So I'm just hoping that will be there, especially with trying to understand what is on the docket. I really do feel like the Game Awards or showcases that they have, or trailers they may drop. Okay. I feel like Gamescom, yes, for certain games. If it was Diablo, I'd say yes, Gamescom, right? But I feel like
Death
for
Stranding 2 at Gamescom, no problem.
Maybe. Okay, all right. I see you. But I think the Game Awards.
I think Silent Hills debuted at Gamescom, right?
Yes, it did. It did.
So actually, I think you may be onto something, Camille, because I just had a thought. I think it was Beyond Good and Evil 2, if I remember correctly, might have been on Snowdrop, which is what Star Wars is. Star Wars is on the Snowdrop engine.
Yeah, I think it was on Snowdrop.
Yeah.
They've been using Snowdrop for a while, haven't they?
They have, but it was, I think,
for Assassin's Creed, or was Assassin's Creed Anvil? Sorry.
Only for massive games. So it was Division, and a few other games. I think Avatar's on Snowdrop.
Yeah. And I think that engine, that was the first real showing of that engine, what its capabilities.
Sounds right.
Was Beyond Good and Evil 2, which kind of hurts me if Star Wars is using that tech because we haven't heard any updates on Beyond Good and Evil 2. I'm just like, please just tell me you're still working on it. It's still coming.
I think it's canceled. I'm sorry. I have a feeling.
Jason Gordon-Levitt has it. Just letting you know right now. He has it. He took it and ran.
He's the only one who's played it.
He took it and ran. So,
I'm really excited for the Game Awards because I think we're going to see some stuff there. And then, other trailers may drop throughohout the year.
And we still got Gamescom too.
Gamescom still coming up.
Yeah. So,
and we still don't know what Nintendo's got.
That's this month.
That's this month. That's going to be end of the month.
So maybe next week.
Here's hoping.
I think last Thursday of the month.
They also have to announce their new console this fiscal. That will not be this month. They've already confirmed that, but we will get an update on the back half of 2024.
I think Nintendo's going to be June 27th. That Direct's going to be. Right now.
Oh, really? You think
27th?
That is.
But they usually do like Wednesdays, don't they, or Tuesdays?
Thursdays.
That's a Thursday.
Usually Thursday.
June 27th. That's my guess.
I might go a week earlier, but they usually go back half of June. So
a good old 20th sounds good too, but 27th.
I mean, we just need it. We need Summer of Games to continue. Help us, Nintendo.
Yep. Steve Sailor, what's going on for the rest of the week, sir? Are you sleeping?
I'm going to try to, but in between that, I'm going to put out all my coverage from Summer Game Fest. I've already put up 2 videos today of my thoughts on Astrobot and also Star Wars Outlaws. Awesome. Thanks to Steve Igvari for joining me on the Star Wars Outlaws one. That's actually kind of a fun one because the stormtroopers that were there kind of got involved. Just watch the beginning of the video. It's pretty funny. But yeah, I've got other previews of Lego Horizon Adventures, Monster Hunter Wilds, Dragon Age, which we didn't talk about this. I got to see the gameplay of that behind closed doors, and also coming up soon would be Magic the Gathering as well. So stay tuned to my YouTube channel or just any of my socials at Steve Sailor, pretty much everywhere.
Awesome. Riley?
I don't know. Like, I'm still buzzing off the Xbox showcase, so I'm pretty excited about that. I just re-downloaded Gears of War Ultimate Edition. I'm gonna throw it back. Yeah,
nice. I need to go back into that too. Yeah,
so fun. Like, if
is it co-op?
Download it. It's co-op. We should totally play.
The campaign's co-op.
Yeah. Yeah, we should totally play.
Riley,
multiplayer, I think, is still live. Let's do it. Like,
I've never played it before. Let's do it.
Oh, you never played it? Oh, Steve, you gotta play
a little bit of it at the beginning of it, but I just can never get further.
I was looking at the achievements today, and I was like, if I want all the achievements, I have to go through the whole game co-op. So I'm like, let's do it. Like, I'm
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be fun.
Cool. Camille?
I am just getting some footage out that I filmed. Thanks, Steve, for joining me on some of that as well. And honestly, just sleeping. I am so exhausted, and my allergies are the absolute worst right now. I've never had allergies this bad in my life. Well, I've had hives, but seasonal allergies. I've never had seasonal allergies this bad. So just trying to survive that allergy grind.
Yeah, my voice is shot. Like, I woke up this morning, I'm just like, uh-oh. This ain't good.
Awesome. And
Marcel?
Yeah, as for me, I'm going tomorrow. I don't know when I'm going to sleep, but tomorrow I'm going to the XP Summit. I was actually just looking at what time I have to be there.
That's this week.
Starting tomorrow and Friday, yes, because today's Wednesday. So yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing that, and then I'll try to sleep eventually. So, but besides that, everyone, have yourself a good one. We'll see you all here next week. Take care.
Isn't here, Grace?